Good day, everyone. I wanted to give you a quick overview of what the ACDSee photo editor looks like, just especially for our chat with ACDSee. I downloaded the beta version, and this is the first time I have experienced it, so I'm not very familiar with the program at all. Just wanted to kind of give my first impressions of the program. I'm not going to be able to answer any questions in the chat about the program, but that's what we've got the ACDSee folks here for, to help us if you have any questions. Here's a little layout I just threw together with just some random things on the page, just so that I could play with this program. I'm finding it a little difficult to make my way around it and find things that I normally do in Photoshop Elements, but that is to be expected. That is the way it goes with any new program that you do. You always find that it is difficult to find the things you need and to learn it, and once you learn and locate everything, you wonder why it was ever so hard in the first place. For instance, it did take me a while to find out how to add drop shadows. You can see I have some drop shadows, and I ended up going through many of these tutorials that are in this little drop down box, and I couldn't find the drop shadow in there, and then suddenly I realized that there's this little question mark here. So I want to point that out to you, to hit that question mark. It's in every one of these, the tops of these palettes, and when you hit the question mark, it actually brings up this wonderful help, and I simply put in here and searched for a drop shadow, and I was quickly able to find a tutorial that told me how to do the drop shadow. So if you are a Photoshop Elements user and familiar with the things that this type of program is to do, just open up that help thing and do a quick search to see where it is in ACDSee. Of course, I want to also remind you that ACDSee has this great website, and here is a ton of tutorials which I have not even touched myself. I'm going to have to be reviewing some of them myself. If you go to digiscrapinfo.com, under the editor, just click on Creative Tutorials, and you will come to this page that's full of helpful information. Of course, remember that you can always go to their forum and ask questions there. Back to the editor, I want to show you under the object drop down menu is where you're going to find that drop shadow tool. And there are quite a few options here, including choosing your own shadow color, which is, I know, something many scrapbookers prefer to do, is to change the color of their drop shadow to match the paper that is underneath it. You can see here in the layers palette, another thing I see first right off the bat is every layer comes with a layers mask that you can work on. Another thing that was frustrating for me as a PSE user that I want to point out to you is I'm in the habit of quickly zooming in and out to see things, and I don't know why. It would have bit me if I hadn't been paying attention, but just for those others that may be having the same problem, right here is a magnifying glass tool, and there's also percentages, and you can click and go straight in to see that element. And you can also quickly go back to fit to screen. I know I utilize different methods in Photoshop Elements, and I wasn't finding them there, and so I wanted to point those out for other new users of this program who previously used Photoshop Elements. You can see it was right there, and I was totally missing it. And as I said, it's going to be a matter of me just learning where all the tools are so that I can learn where everything is in Photoshop Elements. I want to point out another thing. This is the way I get my elements and papers from my folders into Photoshop Elements. So I immediately went to do this in ACDSee, and I was pleasantly surprised. I have a folder here with some items in it, and I'd like to just drag over to the desktop in Photoshop Elements and open up an element, but then I have to tile the two files that are open, my layout file and my element file, and then drag from one file to the other. Thereafter, in Photoshop Elements, I have to immediately close the element file so that I don't accidentally damage it. In ACDSee, this is almost just a one-step process. You won't believe how easy it is, but if I take this flower and just drag it out here in one step, it is on my layout. I don't have to worry about accidentally messing up my original file because it is not even open. This is I drug it right into this layout, and you can see that is a really awesome feature. It really speeds things up when you're bringing things, photos and things into your layout. Isn't that pretty cool? Up here is where you're going to find many of the things that you might find instead on the toolbar in Photoshop Elements. Here is the adjustments, which are similar to the filters, to the filter drop down menu, and up here is the brushes, and here's your paint bucket and gradient tool. Here's the eraser, and here's the text tool. So rather than having the toolbar that goes down the side in Photoshop Elements, you're going to find many of those same things, and you're going to immediately be able to recognize them, and they're right here at the top of the program rather than down at the side. Here is, of course, the various selection tools and the color picker and things like that. And so this bar here can basically be seen the same as the toolbar that goes down the side in Photoshop Elements. And so that's my quick overview, as I really don't know a whole lot about the program. This is just sort of my first impression and first time playing around with it, and I wanted to share for those Photoshop Elements users at my site a quick overview so that you might go and download this program and get started fairly quickly in playing with it yourself. And as I said, the ladies are awesome, always around to answer questions. So if you have any while using this program, why just head over to the ACDSee site at DigiScrapInfo and ask your questions away.